Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Mike and Bennett sit down to discuss Patronizing the American Veteran. And more specifically, people just don't know what the fuck we did in the military. Like, they don't understand the level of responsibility that comes along with being a veteran, or not a veteran, but like being an active duty service member. You know what I mean? So, like, I get this shit all the goddamn time. People looking at me like, oh, yeah, this guy was a grunt, so he clearly doesn't understand what I'm saying. Like, dude, I learned how to use a fucking Mark 19 when I was, 19 years old? And I'm not saying that you've got to be a rocket surgeon in order to learn how to use that, but you might want to have your head out of your ass and on top of your shoulders while you're engaging. And the majority of the people that I talk with that are patronizing assholes don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It drives me nuts.
I would agree.
It is a daily thing. Ugh, telling you. Yeah, I can give more specific examples. It's not just you're wandering through the world and you're looking around at everybody else that's out there in this civilian society, and you're just kind of like, dude, what do these people do? You know what I mean? Anyway, so I had been doing the whole little, the program director thing and everything else. I love it. Great role. It's fantastic. Anytime that we move and shake with any of the other, call them larger organizations, they just play by the big rules. It goes without being said. You're going to walk in there, you're going to do your thing in a very professional manner, and then you're going to continue on. It's hard for me to really wrap my brain around what it must be like being on the other side. Like, I don't know if I'm articulating this correctly, but somebody is patronizing me, saying like, oh, you probably don't understand this piece of technology, you don't understand this computer, or something along those lines, because I don't know, because you were in the military, and so you must have lived out of just a backpack for the past, 8 years of your life or whatever. and I can't go on the other side of that table. I can't get on the other side of the map on this one, because I don't know. Even when I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, the military has to, they got to be more highly effective than anybody else. Like, I knew that when I was a little kid. I don't know how some college graduate is looking at me going like, oh, well, clearly this guy doesn't know. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Here, let me show you how to work that lighter. Like, are you serious over here?
Right. So what happened that is bringing all this angst on?
Well, okay, so I've been traveling, right? And right now I'm on 4G cellular, like in the one area of the house that can actually get reception.
Right.
I've been traveling up in northern Michigan, and I've been hanging out with family, and that's been great, and some of the extended family members and friends and stuff. And, I'm not going to go about naming names. It's just I have these conversations with people, and it always starts from square one. How was the transition? Are you signed up with the VA? I'm like, these people are just going down a checklist from what they heard on NPR. And it's like,
right.
And it's like, oh, where'd you learn about entrepreneurship? As if I'm a child. Like, what do you mean? What, I stumbled across it out in the wilderness. No, fuck off. I've been selling cookies out of my mother's fucking house since I was just a little kid. So anyway, it's been a whole series of this. It's great to see family. It's great to see friends and everybody else. They just don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know.
No, I hear you.
I get like this, especially when I travel up to Michigan. No offense to the Michigander by any means.
Well, it's because you live in Pleasantville,
right?
Or Potter. What is it? What is it from It's a Wonderful Life? Pottersville, yeah. Yeah. So it's basically half your town's full of Build-A-Burgers anyway. So
I know. See, but I'm not even there. I don't know.
I know you're not there, but anyway.
It's been a very pleasant experience, like hanging out with my folks and everybody else. And my brother is now married. Congratulations.
Well done, sir.
Right. It's so hard for me. Maybe this is the struggle of the entrepreneur as well, I guess, to whatever extent. Especially, I know for a fact that it's the veteran and not. Like, you don't understand how many people ask me, like, oh, really? Did you go to school for entrepreneurship? Is that what your degree is in? Like, that's
right.
Constant. Like, did you use the GI Bill to get your degree so that you would know how to be an entrepreneur? I was like, no, what are you? No,
no.
I would no self-starter, highly ambitious, super motivated. You are driving me nuts with your line of questioning. Please stop in line at the assembly plan or some shit.
Hey, it's just a way. Look at it as a way to practice freaking patience.
Right. Oh, it's definitely that. It's definitely that.
Because you need that. You need that.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
Huge way. Well, you know what it is I'm just nobody up here is a veteran, let alone a veteran of like similar.
You're just an angry veteran, Michael.
I'm just an angry, belligerent veteran who's completely understood.
Right.
That's what it is.
You're an uneducated entrepreneur.
Right. There you go.
Veteran thingy majigger. That
I literally, I have nothing to talk with anybody out here. I'm just like, I do this, and the entrepreneurship program thing, and they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. So what does that mean? You're telling them what you're up to, like on the cutting edge of technology. Like if I shared this with somebody, like a single serving friend on an airline right now, they would be like, wow, dude, there's a lot of businesses that are involved. This is very cool and stuff. I share this to the average folk around here, and they're like, oh, nice.
Is your name Tyler Durden?
Yeah.
You're not a beautiful and unique snowflake, Michael, just so you know. You are not a beautiful and unique snowflake, I promise. What was that? Operation Mayhem from that movie? Right?
Yeah.
Operation Mayhem.
Jared Leto was in that movie. I was flipping through some of the
dude. He was. Didn't he like dye his hair blonde? Like platinum blonde, like did the eyebrows and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell to the yes. That's an intense movie, man. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah. His name was Robert Fulton.
That shit is...
My buddy had a fake ID that said Robert Fulton.
That's
worked
awesome.
Everywhere.
That is awesome,
dude. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying too. I understand the shit. I mean, take my family for example. They're all highly educated, except for me. Highly educated. Now, if you start to compare resumes, the only person that I would say that's more successful than I have been continuously, at least in their field of choice, has been my uncle. And that's just because he is a fucking wizard at computer programming, right? And has done a lot of awesome stuff. He's written all kinds of shit. I mean, the man's done a lot, right? And well-deserved freaking rewards for all of that. But like everyone else has got a master's, at least a master's, right?
Yeah.
I barely got my freaking bachelor's, and that was only on a fluke because I had drive to get it. And then I might as well have gotten it at underwater basket weaving. So
yeah,
the fact that, because I'm not in the security, I got it in security management. Am I ever going to do security again other than like securing my own home?
Right.
Fuck no, I'm not. No. And other than like shooting shit, but that has nothing to do with security management, whatever.
Right.
So yeah. So basically it's just like, okay. And now, I'm kicking ass and taking names with, doing everything that we're doing. It's freaking awesome. I love it. Everything, stuff sooner or later, all this stuff is going to pay off because it's just a progression. And and I put in the hard work and got other people that I work with, like Eddie Lazary, they put the hard work in and, freaking doing good things, changing the world, adding value, the whole thing. And then in my prior careers as well, successful. But once again, like most successful careers with employers, they have to come to an end if you have an entrepreneurial mind. And, but a lot of people don't get it because the sheeple, for the most part, they just don't get it. And it's not a bad thing. It's not that there's anything wrong with them. It's just that they're different. And they've swallowed the blue or the red pill, whichever one their parents were peddling basically, and they joined the 2.5 kids, dog, house, 2-car garage. I will go to college. I will get degree. I will work for, pick your freaking chemical company or your, you know what I'm saying? Any corporate company, pick it, or bank or whatever. And then they are going to ride off into the sunset. And what they don't realize now You know what though? But some people were made to be employees, dude. That's the other thing. Not everyone's built to be an entrepreneur. It's the truth.
Sure. Yeah.
Great
Well,
article. I don't remember. Did you see that? I posted it on our Facebook page. And I don't know who it was written. It was written in medium.com. But I don't remember the author. But great article about just being a fucking employee and how some people, that's their destiny. That's what they're built for. And that's the truth. But I feel like everyone, if they have an idea, they at least need to have enough balls to give it a shot. And if they fail, then they fail.
Right. Lessons learned.
And most people, the problem is that with most people with entrepreneurial spirit and skill, even if they fail, they just get back up and do. Either they keep driving on with said idea because it is a good idea, and just because you're not getting the results that you think you should get right away doesn't mean that your idea is shit.
Right.
By any stretch of the imagination. Come on. I mean, you're talking years and years. Some guys have fought and then finally it just took off, you know?
Right.
Because it might be ahead of its time, truly.
Right. Well, it's like Leapfrog was way ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, you know what? We should almost title the episode not Patronizing the American Veteran so much as Patronization of the Doer.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's not even like people are trying to pull you back from going out and doing. That's not it. It's just I think what it is they just don't realize they only see the same person whenever you're around. Like you mentioned family specifically. I'm around my family. Whenever I come back around my family, I mean, fuck man, I might as well be 17 years old.
Well, yeah, they don't give a fuck what you do. They don't
give a fuck.
I mean, they care that you're doing well, but at the end of the day, that's, you know what though? I think you need to start using that as like almost like a tool or something. Like figure out a way to use it as motivation. Like, man, I'm never going to be like that or something. And I not that it's bad, but you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? It's like, because either way, you're always going to be that kid that played hockey and you're Michael Penny. And to them, because they're not in our space, Michael Penny is that kid that they know. It has nothing to do, like they could give a shit. You could be a billionaire, dude. And guess what? Right. They could give a shit. You could be the next Richard Branson and they're always going to treat you like Michael Penny. So there is a little solace in that though, meaning that there's a little comfort knowing that, you know what? It kind of gives you that, hey, dumbass, you're not some special fucking thing. You might work hard and you might have good ideas, but at the end of the day, those are the people that remind you where you came from. So that's what you have to take from that, is because regardless of whether you hate it or not, it's still a part of who you are and made you who you are. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, I feel you all the way across the board. I fucking hate it. I can't stand it. I'm sick of it. I never want to be treated like a child ever. Never. I fucking loathe it. I can't stand being micromanaged and patronized by the people who fucking raised me. It drives me nuts. And it's like, that's the other thing. I guarantee that there are people shaking their heads in traffic right now going like, yep, this is why I did not move home after the Marine Corps. It's like, yeah. Dude, right. And it's not like mom and dad understand what I'm talking about and all of this, to whatever extent. They're like, hey,
because,
you're happy.
Because no matter what you can do, I mean, they're going to be proud of you,
Right. Regardless. But what I can't say
unless you're just a complete fucking tool bag, but like
then I'm telling you right now, and I'm sure somebody is like, oh, Michael, that's terrible. I don't do anything except for work. I work on cigars and C-Stories. I work on 5-paragraph business plan, and I work on Bunker Labs RDU. If you think that is stressful, hard work, good. I hope that you do. It's not. I really enjoy my life. That's what I want to talk about. And then, like, I'll sit down and have conversations with people, and they're like, oh, no, dude, I don't want to talk about work.
You also like firearms.
I love firearms.
And you like eating red meat.
There you go. I'm a red-blooded American.
You even like cooking red meat.
Absolutely. But all I'm saying, like, I'll sit down and I'll try to have a conversation with somebody, even my family, and I'm like, so what are you up to? What do you do now? And it's like, oh, yeah, I know that you're in this line or industry. And I don't want to talk about work. What the fuck do you want to talk about? What are you up to on the
But
weekend?
not everyone freaking eats.
Not
breathes,
everyone
and,
likes right.
Not everyone eats, breathes, and freaking drinks their work. And that's
Right.
what it's like our last episode. That's the glory of what you do, because you can live, eat, breathe, and drink it, and you fucking love it. And you know.
And then when I see other people who are like miserable bastards at their job, miserable fucking people, and then they're like, "Woo, weekend, trying to rage out," and like, I have nothing to do with that person. I don't even know what the fuck that asshole does. Like, I don't know. Is he getting drunk on a boat with his buddies? What the fuck do those people do?
I don't know. I have no
I don't
idea.
get it. Maybe I'm a motivator. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe
I'm just a hard.
You're a fucking geardo.
That's what it is. Well, I'm gonna find a comfortable chair and just sit at the position of attention until the day is over, and then I can move on to the next. What do you think? Is that it? Should I just do that? Power down? Should I throw on Charlie's and just fucking power down until the weekend?
I think you should go be a career recruiter and take over for Dan Evans when he leaves.
Congratulations, Dan.
You can work with Ben, your buddy Ben.
Yeah.
Up in Michigan. Does the Marine Corps have? No, they don't. They don't. There's no fucking way they do.
What?
Have like the civilian. Wasn't there? I know it was in the Marine Corps, but I think one of the branches, like literally, I feel like they had like civilians working as recruiters, like a lawnmower or some shit. I'm probably completely wrong, but either way, I mean, like the Army does, career recruiters. Like that's literally their freaking job. I mean, the Marine Corps does obviously too, because we know one. Which until I knew him though, I never had a fucking clue that there were career recruiters.
Oh yeah.
No idea. But that's badass, because they're basically just badass salesmen for the Marine Corps, especially the Marine Corps.
Don't make shit for money. Like, if you're that badass of a salesman, you should start selling fucking yachts instead of tricking high school kids.
I know, but hey, some people have a higher purpose.
Yeah,
and that's recruiting Marines. So I did see one of my friends wrote the other day. So if they give everyone free education, higher education, what the fuck is the Army and what the fuck is the military going to use as a recruiting tool?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Good job, Bernie. Good job. Feel the burn, baby. Good job. So that's another group of people that patronize the military, veterans and stuff a little bit, or some of our governmental employees and bureaucrats and politicians. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but that happens.
Oh yeah, of course. It's like, well,
hard fucking core.
I'll tell you what has nothing to do with politics. I'll tell you what has nothing to do with government. Ben Bernanke, the former chairman of the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, you said it had nothing to do with the federal government. Well, it doesn't, because the Federal Reserve is actually a central bank.
Well, it's a private corporation.
Totally private. Hey, people don't even know that. Ben Bernanke.
All I have to say is read about Jekyll Island.
Ooh,
that's all. Read about Jekyll Island, folks, and you'll find out about the Federal Reserve and how it was just kind of miracled into existence.
Pretty shocking.
Anyway, keep going. Ben Bernanke.
Well, Ben Bernanke stands up there and he's like, well, really, any veteran doesn't have the skills that are necessary for modern life. Like, you just broad term is like, if you join the U.S. military, you are not set up for success.
Unless you're an officer.
What the fuck is your deal, man? He didn't specify whether.
I know, but still,
I'd be pretty surprised if he actually knew what the difference was. Yeah. I mean, I know that he's a highly educated individual, but I really don't think he gives a fuck about the armed forces. I'm just going to go out on a limb here. So I don't think any chairman of the Fed ever gave a fuck about the armed forces, but maybe I'm just spitballing a little too hard. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, dude, you hear it all the time. You see it all the time.
Although this is a lot coming from me, since we're going to speak about politicians a little bit. And I know it's a speech. It's one fucking speech. Yada, yada, yada. But this, at the DAV National Convention, President Obama speech. Wow. Hey, I can't stand to hear the gentleman talk, the man talk, whatever. You know what I mean? And I actually made it through his speech because it was actually pretty decent freaking speech to our veterans. And if you didn't know, one of our friends and former guests, Ryan Otteson, is that how you say it?
Otteson, yeah.
Otteson him and his wife were recognized at the national convention as like entrepreneurs of the year or something.
Hell yeah.
Hold on. Let me pull it up because I want to get it right because it needs its due.
Absolutely. Please do. Yeah, you're talking about Obama speech. I just tuned that out. Yeah.
Right. But
it's kind of like the battalion commander talking. I don't give a shit who it is.
Yeah,
Your billet is talking at me, and I don't give a fuck about it. Yeah.
So Ryan and his wife run the VASH network, all right? In California, which you know of and whatnot. And they were recognized by the DAV as the best business venture impacting other veterans.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool? EBV grads.
Congratulations. Awesome. That's, yes. Otten Company. That's, dude. They deserve it too. They're doing solid work.
And they work their asses off. So, yeah, man.
Good.
Really cool.
I hope they're making
DAV award for top venture impacting veterans for their work in reducing veteran homelessness. I mean, I've given, working for my work as a peer support for the VA, I gave, like every housing specialist I came across, I told them about the VASH network. So I don't know if they have people using it because I know that trying to spread it a little bit towards the East Coast, but yeah, man, really cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
So congrats to them. I know Ryan listens from time to time, so
what?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, Semper Fi, Addisons. You guys rock.
Yeah. So, but there you go. There you have it, right? Veteran entrepreneurs adding value to the world. Rocking it out, man. One day at a time.
Well, the other thing too, just very briefly, the VASH network, the VASH is a voucher for housing, and 9 times out of 10, everybody just turns to Craigslist in order to find the next house. And he saw that they didn't really know how to handle the VASH system, so to speak.
Well, they get their voucher and they have to go out and find their own housing.
Right.
So he wanted to pair veterans up with that network with, landlords that want to rent to veterans. So, yeah, man.
Brilliant.
It really is.
Saucy problem.
And he's already got the whole thing set up. It really could be nationwide. Just people need to recognize the fact that it exists. And, yeah, man, it really is a good, solid program, a good, solid platform online to do that. So, yeah, man, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I was trying to get, so anyway,
I'm
good
sure
for them.
Somebody will patronize him next week. God.
Right.
No big whoop. Are you sure? You hit that? You really did that? You did that on your own? You're a Marine.
Yeah, you don't have a degree. I don't think you can do that. You're just a veteran realtor. The hell do you know?
Oh God. I smile and nod, and then I do one of two different things. One is somebody will tell me not to do something or do something or whatever it is. I smile and nod, and then I go and do whatever the fuck I was going to do anyhow, because I don't give a shit about that person. Or I smile and nod and I watch it go fuck themselves. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, oh God, I think that there's got to be some sort of natural switch inside of a human being's brain that says this is like competitive, because it happens to me. It happens to me all the time. I'll be like, oh, that's a veteran business leader. Oh, that's competition. Yes, but it's only competition in a bad way if they're operating maliciously or something like that, right? And to circle back to the patronizing aspect of this, it's that's nice, the verbal head pat, as I put it, when you're talking about any sort of business or whatever. And I think that it comes out of they're threatened in a competitive sense. It's got to be the exact, like, I'll go out on a limb, and I hate saying this in a generalized way, so I won't, but I will say that there are a lot of managers out there who do not hire veterans because they're scared to fucking death that they're going to have their job. They are scared that the veteran sitting across from them is the right veteran for the job, and they will be promoted past the manager who hired them. I guarantee that this will happen tomorrow somewhere across America. A veteran will be told, oh, you're overqualified for this position, or, unfortunately it's been filled or something like that, due to the fact that a civilian has felt threatened by the experience and it drives me nuts that we live in that world, because that's a cowardice way of living. And the other thing too is that it doesn't allow or empower others to flourish. Like, dude, if I was a manager and I hired 4 veterans right now that were go-to fucking motivators, And they were like, Mike, how the hell are you getting all this work done? I'd be like, I heard the greatest team in the world. You have no idea. And then I just enable these people to go out and achieve awesomeness. And it's like, well, how can you do that? They're all veterans. They don't even have dude, fuck off. That guy would get promoted in a heartbeat. The manager who hires a highly effective person to basically work them out of a job has less shit to do as a fucking manager, and thus their life is easier in order to grow and accelerate in other ways through their own initiative. And they don't fucking see it. They're just like, all right, hit these wicked checklists. Here you go. And then when you get,
right.
and it's like, it's almost like civilian life, I swear to fucking Christ, is like good initiative, bad judgment. Are you fucking serious? Is this really happening now? Good initiative, bad judgment. What is that? Is that a timing issue? Anyway, I am very happy that you brought up Ryan and all of the kick-assery that he has achieved thus far through his awesome and epic VASH network system, which I have no idea how he set it up or anything like that, but he's a good guy. He's a grunt. He slayed bodies on the front lines. Now he's doing awesome shit in the real world, and I'm sure that he is living life by the big boy rules, which unfortunately, I just think our American society doesn't live by big boy rules. They're all a bunch of fucking children. They're all cowards. It drives me nuts. I see it every day. Ugh.
Right. So what's the takeaway for this episode?
You know what the takeaway is? Maybe I've already shared this one many times, but really it's we've got to get together as far as the ambitious veterans are concerned. I don't give a shit if you go to bunker labs or not. I really don't give a shit. I'm just hoping and praying that the ambitious ones out there who are like, yes, I'm highly motivated. It doesn't need to be a generalization of these people all fucking suck. I realize that not everybody in the world sucks, but if you're as pissed off, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted by the world that we live in, frankly. And I'm like, how the fuck are people not motivated to do right by this? I don't know. So the call to action to me, frankly, is good. You're getting patronized. You want to live big boy rules. Go out and be a goddamn entrepreneur and surpass anybody. Surpass the people who raised you. Surpass the family who patronizes you daily. Go on and do it. And don't rub their noses in it. When they ask you how, be like, I've always been here. I've just been shipping right away. You people couldn't see it. You've been off doing your own fucking thing, working for somebody else. That's my takeaway. Here's a call to action to the highly ambitious folks. Come on, be my friend, be my buddy. Let's hang out. Go fucking achieve awesomeness, buy islands and shit. I don't know.
Right. My thing is just, I just is my takeaway, and the message that I always try to put out there is that literally do what you want to do. Don't live by somebody's script or don't live someone else's life for them. Live the life that you want to live. And if you want to work for freaking Dow Chemical your whole life because you love it, then by all means do that. But if you have a dream to do something else, don't be afraid to follow it, especially as veterans. I mean, you guys have, guys and gals have been through the ringer. I mean, not everyone. They haven't all been through the ringer. Let's be honest. And even guys that have been through the ringer, it doesn't quite seem like the ringer to them. And, everyone's different. But at the end of the day, just go out there and try to make the world better than, it's like police call, try to leave the place better than when you freaking took possession of it, and if everyone did that shit, whether they're a veteran or not, the world would just be a better place. And people can fucking poo-poo that and be like, oh, you're so kumbaya with your bullshit. But you know what? Fuck you. Go out there and make the world a better place. Because you know what? I feel 10 times better with myself. My kids, my wife, my family are proud of me because I put my ideals and shit that I wanted to do above the almighty dollar and all the shit. Don't let people tell you what you need to do or what's important to you or what should be for you. Fuck that. Do what you want to do. You know what I mean? As long as it's not raping children and killing people. Let's be honest. I mean, there's some things that it's not a live free and do whatever the fuck you want kind of world, but you guys understand what I'm saying. Have a little common sense, but so.
Yeah, it's just what it is. I think the biggest problem about it, and this is honestly my little last thing, is that you're out there and you're voicing your dream and not everybody understands what that is. Not everybody wants to empower you, nor do they necessarily know how to.
Well, yeah, it's not their dream.
But it's right. But it's also like when you're jazzed up and fired up about it, other people are not. And that is because it's not their dream. That makes sense. But it's like, for those of us who eat, sleep, live it, we don't even want to be around anybody. Because you know what I mean?
I do.
Like,
I do. It's kind of like, but one of the things is, it's kind of like this. And this is what I've come to realize, is that it's kind of like religion, or at least the way that I see it, is that you're free to worship and do whatever you want the way that you do it, but that doesn't mean you have to spew it in everyone else's cornflakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think that you really do that. But I think you select people that you want to be around and that you want in your life. And you know what? That's the way you do it, because you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And if those people happen to be successful entrepreneurs, then more than likely that's what you're going to end up being. If you want to be a fucking crackhead, gang member or whatever, by all means, have fun there. You know what I mean?
That's why.
And it truly does. It's your environment. It truly does influence how you succeed. And you know what? If you're an aspiring entrepreneur or business owner, or just, are lacking the motivation to be a hard-charging individual, even if it's doing the best that you can working at the job that you work at because you do like your job, but you're living in a negative world, look at what's going on around you. Look at the people around you and see how you can change that shit, because I guarantee you it's influencing you somehow. If you stand around and hang out with negative people, man, you're probably going to be negative. So
right, you're exactly right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So that's our takeaway. That's your takeaway. That's, words of wisdom. And let's wrap it up.
Big one. And a little bit of teen angst sprinkled in there. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, man. Right around this time is where all you folks immediately go to iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM. You subscribe, you rate, and you write us very kick-ass review about how much you love the show. Go ahead, give a 5-star rating. You want. And then immediately share it with everybody you know. And be like, you know what? Nah, you guys probably won't want this. You guys probably won't like it. And then they're going to be enticed to listen to it that much more. I mean, however you want to tell it. I don't know if you guys are hardcore enough about this. I shot somebody in the face. Anyway, yeah. You got anything else for a wonderful listening audience?
I don't. I already spewed my fucking load everywhere, so.
Bennett spewing his load. And on that note, we do the move.
Of United States Marine.